Good day, everyone. Today we are diving into the connective theory of multimedia learning and its powerful applications in the realm of educational videos. This is content. The first thing I would like to highlight are the learning objectives. By the end of this session, you should have an in-depth understanding of the CTML model and its theoretical underpinning. You'll also learn how the three core assumptions of the CTML influence the design of learning materials, and how connective load theory ties in with multimedia learning principles for better educational outcomes. Our unlimited goal is to see how these theories can be applied in educational video design to enhance the learning experience. CTML is rooted in the idea that information can be processed more effectively when present in both visual and auditory forms. This leads to significant improvement in how we process and understand the information. Let's explore this theory in great detail today. Moving on, let's talk about Richard E. Meyer, the brilliant mind behind the CTML model, a professor at the University of California, Santa Barbara. Meyer's research focuses on how multimedia can be integrated into educational settings to improve learning outcomes. His landmark work, Multimedia Learning, emphasizes the importance of presenting information through visual and auditory channels to enhance learning. This is critical because it taps into the natural ways our brain process information. Meyer's work foundational in understanding the signal mechanisms at play in multimedia learning. Meyer introduced the connective load theory and the dual-channel physics that guides effective multimedia design. These concepts are vital to the optimal design of educational materials, especially when we move to practical applications in videos. Let's now dive deeper into the CTML model itself. The CTML model is built on three key assumptions. First, the dual-channel assumption tells us we have two separate channels in our minds to process information. The visual channels process images, and the auditory channels process spoken words. Learning is enhanced when both channels are used in harmony, which is why multimedia presentations are so effective. Second is the limited capillary assumption. This suggests that our working memory has a limited capacity, meaning we can only process so much information at a time. Therefore, instructional design needs to be mindful of not overloading on channel with too much information at once. The third assumption is the active processing assumption. This emphasizes the need for learners to actively engage with the content. It's not enough to just present metric. Learners must participate by selecting, organizing, and integrating the information into their exciting knowledge framework. Together, this assumption forms the core foundation of the CTML, guiding us toward more effective multimedia learning designs. Next, we will introduce the 5 connective processes in the CTML model, which play a vital role in multimedia learning. First, the first process is selection. In this stage, students need to select relevant information for multimedia content. Because the amount of the information is usually large in multimedia learning, students need to consciously select the most relevant content for the current learning task. Through this screen, students can focus on core knowledge and avoid information overload. Next is organization. Once students have selected relevant information, the next task is to structure this information and form a coherent mental representation. This process helps students integrate scattered information into a more meaningful knowledge framework for easy memory and understanding. The third process is integration. In this stage, students need to connect the newly learned information with existing knowledge. In this way, students can integrate new information into the existing knowledge system and form a deeper and broader understanding. The next process is elaboration. This process refers to students adding personal understanding or reasoning and inference during the learning process. Through elaboration, students can give personal meaning to what they have learned, which not only helps memory but also deepens the understanding of concepts. The last process is visualization. In this stage, students help themselves better understand and remember what they have learned by constructing images and scenarios in their minds. In this way, students can transform abstract knowledge into intuitive images, thereby enhancing learning effectiveness. Each of these 5 processes is closely related to our connective abilities. Only by making full use of this process can multimedia learning be more efficient. Therefore, when designing learning materials, we should pay attention to the coordination and comprehension of this connective process to help students achieve the best learning effects in a multimedia environment. Next, we will explore in detail the 3 core assumptions in the CTML model which are critical to the design of learning materials. The first is the dual-channel hypothesis, which is based on an important principle. The human brain has 2 independent information processing channels, the visual channels and the auditory channels. The visual channels is responsible for processing images and videos, while the auditory channels process language and sound. When these 2 channels work simultaneously, information processing is more efficient because they can process different types of information in parallel. For example, in educational videos, the computation of images of narration can help students better understand the content. But the problem is that the processing capacity of each channel is limited. If a channel carries too much information, it will cause information overload, which will affect the learning effect. Therefore, when design, it is necessary to avoid overloading a channel so that learners can efficiently process the information of each channel. Next is the limited capacity hypothesis, which emphasizes that our working memory capacity is limited. The brain can only process limited amount of information at a time. If too much complex information is present during the learning process, the working memory is easily over-occupied, resulting in excessive cognitive burden. Cognitive overload interferes with students' understanding and memory of new knowledge. Therefore, instructional designers should avoid providing too much information at one time, but should process information in chunks to help students deeply understand the knowledge in each small part. In the design of learning materials, simplifying the content and placing it in steps can effectively reduce cognitive load and improve learning effects. Finally, the active processing hypothesis is the most critical of the three hypotheses. This hypothesis emphasizes that learning is not just a process of receiving information, but an active participation process. Learners must actively select, organize and integrate information, connect it with the existing knowledge, and form new understandings. If learners only passively receive information without in-depth thinking and processing, it will be difficult for the information to form effective memory and understanding in the brain, thus affecting the learning effect. Well-designed learning materials should encourage students actively participate, allowing them to actively think, analyze, and integrate information, rather than just relying on passive reception. These three hypotheses complement each other and provide guidance for instructional design. The dual-channel hypothesis helps us understanding how to responsibly allocate the presentation of information. The limited capacity hypothesis reminds to us to pay attention to the control of information volume when designing. And the active processing hypothesis emphasizes that learners should actively participate in the learning process. The combination of these examinations enable us to design learners' materials that are more in line with cognitive needs and improve learning outcomes. Next is cognitive load theory. Joyce-Swallows cognitive load theory provides a framework for understanding how to optimize instructional materials. It helps us understand how our brains process information, particularly the concentration of working memory. Swallows theory posits that cognitive overload can actually interfere with learning, which is why instructional design needs to take into account the limits of working memory. Connective load theory difference between three types of connective load. Intrinsic, extrinsic, German. Intrinsic load is the natural difficulty of the content itself. Extrinsic load is unnecessary mental effort caused by poor design or distraction, and the German load refers to the connective efforts used for understanding and integrating the material. Our job as instructional design is to minimize extrinsic load, optimize intrinsic load, and promote German load and to enhance learning. According to the According to the inspiration of CLT, we can take the following suggestions to improve learning effect in teaching design. First, reduce external connective load. That is, remove unnecessary interference factors. For example, remove irrelevant images or text to avoid distracting students. Second, optimize intrinsic connective load by breaking the content into small parts that are easy to understand, so that students can gradually digest the knowledge. Finally, promote beneficial connective load. Encourage students to actively integrate new information through active thinking and connecting existing knowledge. In practical application, several typical application examples of CLT theory include segmentation, work example, and multimedia learning. Segmentation breaks down complex content into small perceptions to help students gradually master knowledge. Worked examples help students understand the problem-solving process by providing solved examples. Multimedia learning combines visual and auditory channels to effectively reduce connective load and improve learning efficiency. By using this application, responsibly teaching designers can optimize teaching materials to help students better learn and master knowledge. The relationship between connective load theory and connective theory of multimedia learning. CLT focuses on managing connective load with emphasis reducing external load, optimizing internal load, and promoting beneficial connective load during the learning process. This principle can help improve learning outcomes and applicable to various learning environments, including multimedia learning. First, the next is CTML is a specific application of CLT in multimedia learning. It focuses on how to reduce students' connective burden and help students better understand and integrate information through effective multimedia design, such as a reasonable combination of text, pictures, and audio. In general, CLT provides a theoretical basis for the management of connective load, where CTML applies these theories to multimedia environment to optimize learning outcomes. Next, I will introduce the 12 principles of multimedia learning. These principles are important tools for optimizing learning design and can help improve learning outcomes, especially when using multimedia for teaching. First, the multimedia principle tells us that learners can understand the content more effectively when they combine videos and text than when they rely solely on text. Therefore, combining images and text to present information will greatly enhance learners' comprehensions. Next is contiguity principle, which emphasizes the simultaneous presentation of related text and image to help students make assessment in time or space. In this way, learners can more easily integrate and understand information. The coherence principle points out that we should avoid irrelevant pictures, sounds, or too many details, which will increase cognitive load and reduce learning outcomes. Therefore, only materials that directly help the learning content should be used. The modality principle recommends reducing text in learning materials with speech and training to present text content in spoken language, which can activate both visual and auditory channels and improve learning outcomes. The redundancy principle reminds us that redundant information will distract attention, so unnecessary repetition should be minimized. The segmenting principle emphasizes that learning content should be divided into small chunks and learned step by step. This not only helps reduce cognitive load, but also allows students to better dissect each piece of knowledge. The pre-training principle recommends introducing key concepts or terms before formal learning to help students better understand and integrate more complex content. The personalization principle suggests that using a conversational tone can better attract students' attention than a formal tone, making the learning process more engaging and understandable. The voice principle emphasizes that learners process speech presented by human voice better than machine voice. So using professionally recorded voice can improve learning outcomes. The image principle points out that the presence of pictures or animations does not always improve learning outcomes. Carefully selected static images, especially those directly related to the learning content, can efficiently add comprehension. The direct manipulation principle suggests that integrated learning materials such as simulators or clickable charts should be used to encourage students to actively participate in learning rather than passively viewing materials. Finally, the feedback principle that timely feedback during learning activities helps to reinforce correct responses, clear for misunderstandings, and keep learners on track. There be improving learning retention and comprehension. In summary, this is 12 multimedia learning principles can help you design more effective learning materials and optimize students' learning experience. By applying these principles properly, we can reduce cognitive load, improve learning outcomes, and help students better absorb and understand the knowledge. Next one is educational videos. Educational videos are becoming increasingly popular as learning tools. This video aims to present information in a straightforward, engaging way, often using visual and sound to make concepts easier to grasp. There are different types of educational videos, such as interactive videos, tutorial guides, documentary films with whiteboard videos, and animated videos. Interactive videos are particularly used for active learning, while tutorial guides are great for step-by-step instruction. Whiteboard videos, often used for sketch-based explanations, are fantastic for presenting concepts in a friendly and appreciable manner. Each of these tips serves a different purpose, but all leverage multimedia to help learners understand complex ideas. Educational video platforms such as Flipgrid, Padlet, Google Classroom, and Coursera. These platforms help organize and present educational materials while allowing for interactive elements. Now that we are covered the theory, let's look at how the CTML model can be applied to the design of educational videos. First one is segmentation is one of the key techniques we can use in educational video design. By breaking down content into smaller manageable parts, we can help learners process each piece before moving on to the next. For example, according to Tormad, by split into segments like instruction and loops to reduce cognitive overload. Another technique is signaling, where visual or auditory cues guide the learner's attention to key points. For instance, during a science video explaining the water cycle, the term evaporation might be highlighted or emphasized to make sure learners focus on the most important concepts. Reading involves elimination, irrelevant, or distracting content. By removing unnecessary background noise, stories, or exercise videos, we can ensure that learners aren't overwhelmed by too much information. Personalization is another powerful application of CTML. Using a conversational tone in videos helps engage learners more effectively. It makes the content feel less intimidating and more approachable, which in turn promotes an active learning. Finally, multiple responsion is about using a combination of media such as animations, narration, and text to reinforce key concepts. This approach engages multimedia connective channels and helps learners understand complex material more effectively. In conclusion, by applying the principles of CTML and CLT, we can design educational videos that are not only engaging but also effective in promoting learning, from segmenting content to using a conversational tone. This strategy ensures that learners can process information in a way that aligns with their cognitive capabilities. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation helps you understand how to design multimedia learning experiences that optimize cognitive load and improve learning outcomes. Bye bye.